So again, this idea that it's one or the other, or that as men and women we should be very, very, very different, is, I believe, a misconception. Again, you know, the masculine, the man who feels more in his masculine essence, he still needs to connect with his body. He'll still need to take breaks from that like rigid mode of working. He still needs that awareness to feel. The way that it shows up differently is, again, it's a dance of energy moment to moment. It's not tangible. It can't be quantified. You know, what is more the feminine way? What is more the masculine way? In different contexts, in different people, in different moments, at different days, it will look different. Though I can speak to that if you're picturing a man and a woman working next to one another, the thresholds are very different for the life to need to be like expressed. So if you're thinking of, okay, we each have masculine container, we each have our feminine essence. As a man, same thing. He connects to his intuition, he's feminine, to allow things to be birthed. Life is just those two coming together. Literally, life is created from this masculine, feminine coming together to birth life. And so that's always happening within us as men or as women. And as men, that process is different in that their container is bigger. Their container is, you know, their seed. They have the seed within them in their bodies. And so the threshold is different. If you were to picture a man and a woman working side by side on their laptop, both in that masculine, goal-driven, focused way, both also using their feminine creativity, I would totally bet that it would take far less time for the feminine woman, if it's a woman more in her feminine or wanting to be more in her feminine, to have to go, whoo, stand up and shake it off. Now, the masculine doesn't mean that he won't get benefit from that. It will take a little bit longer. Whereas the feminine, maybe 15 minutes, and then we need to come back in. Otherwise, we're going down a route that isn't in our power anymore. The masculine is in his power, but he still needs his feminine to rest and to replenish his power. So in this way, it's like, if we think about it, yin and yang energy, let's talk about it. Yang is active, yin is restful. Yang is, in this case, masculine. Yin is feminine, so like hard, soft, just the dualities. In order for the yang to be expressed, you need the yin. Like, in order to have energy to do stuff, you need to have rested. You need to have then more rest to then go out and do stuff again. Same thing, in order for the yin rest to be felt so deeply and to really enjoy the rest, you need to go and express some energy. Like, to get the energy out and then go back to the yin state, it's such a lovely experience to rest after something intense. So in this way, they're supporting one another. And you could say that the man is needing moments of that yin to fuel his yang, whereas the woman needs moments of the yang, the focus, to fuel and give her that freedom of the yin to come through. So they're different dances being happen, but they're not different. They're still a dance, and there may still be a partner dance, but it could be the difference between a salsa and a paso doble. Salsa is more feminine, paso doble is more in the masculine. You know, like they're not as separate, they're not as different as we want to define them to be. And for the future in how this looks, as well as, you know, the feminine being in the power of flow and in the working, the way that feminine works, a lot of this also has to do with her cycle. So the cycle that she is in her monthly cycle, her moon cycle, actually dictates a lot of her energetic process. And science tells us this, the way that different hormones are spiked, brain chemicals are moved through our physical energy. The masculine does not have that. They have moments of cycles of, you know, sleep, wake, rest, like coming back into energy, but we have a very specific and unique way of interacting with our body and our energy level, and that will come out very differently how we work. In a woman's ovulatory phase, we have energy really spiked high in order to be more powerful and more focused in our work. There's certain chemicals running through us which gives us actually more mental focus. Now that isn't something that's there the whole time. It then drops drastically, especially our oxytocin drops, and we're in a place where when we're bleeding, or when we're in a state where we would be bleeding, we are much more inward and needing much more rest. And physically our body is saying rest for the work to be done. And so in that way, honoring our cycles, so going with the flow, is the feminine power. If we were in our masculine power of still having goal this, and this to do, but at the moment we're in our bleeding phase and we need to rest, that would not be aligned with our power. Whereas the masculine could do this, and this, with moments of rest in between. So it's how we honor our unique attributes of our physicality, our energy, and also knowing that it's always a dance within us.